Yay, we're live. Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you for joining. I'm just gonna put in the topic right away, no time. Hi everyone, good evening. Good to see you again. Hi Longo, Ferromi, good to see you. BMW, good to see you. Vivian, good evening, guys. Thank you for joining again. Japa on stay. I'm just gonna pin the topic right away. Hey, Michael, my guest is here. I'm bringing you up right away. I just really want to save the topic and then pin it. Japa or stay. Accessing opportunities in the Scandinavian. Welcome, guys. I see you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Please, while we're doing this, kindly share some of this. Kindly share this live with your friends, on your social media status or anywhere that you think there are people who would need this. Hi, thank you, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I don't want it to be too long, the particular topic, but we're gonna leave it this way. I'm so excited to see you guys. I'm trying to pin the conversation right away. Yes, we have it. Thank you, sis. V Agbamoro, thank you for joining, sis. Sister Magdalene, thank you for joining. Big sis, we see you. There's no time. We already know what we're having, the type of conversation we're having today. Just a little bit of a background before I bring up my guest very soon. Over the last couple of days, this is the day 9 of the Borderless Summit. We've been having a Borderless Summit, a summit around, yes, Japa, a summit around global positioning, international opportunities, visibilities, online making money strategies, positioning for African talent, for professionals and entrepreneurs. So we've had conversations around branding. We've had about freelancing, how to make money online, LinkedIn optimization. We've had a well-rounded conversation, pivoting into a new role, understanding your journey, and several other conversations like that. Where to start from in your freelancing journey, how to get account approved, all of these things. We've had that. We've talked about even affiliate marketing on this show or on this summit. It's a show anyway. It's a show, guys. Accept it now. But today we're going to be looking at something different. It will be an injustice when we talk about global positioning and when I talk about borderlessness, without really looking at the physical part of it, which is really what we call Japa. Japa is a Yoruba word for moved, right? And that's what we use a lot of times when we say somebody as Japa. In fact, we have a past tense for Japa now, meaning the person relocated out of the country. And we just really thought to have a conversation today. And I'm having my very good friend. Of course, we're gonna have this uploaded on the YouTube channel once we're done with the summit. Everything, we'll literally pack it and take it to YouTube, and then we'll save it. And so we're having a guest. I'm having my very good friend Michael is gonna be joining us, and we're looking at Japa or not, accessing opportunities in the Scandinavian region. Because there's no time, right? I'm super excited already. We're going to have a well-rounded conversation, Japa or not, schooling, free education in these countries, and all of that, and leadership, every other thing that comes with us, because both of us were a bomb. If you don't know us already, you are coming too late. Yes. So I'm just going to bring him right up right away. It's such an exciting time to have him here. I'm going to send a request to you very quickly. Michael, please just say hello. Let me see you. And then I'll be able to do that. Or you send a request to me. Let me find you. I found you. Yay! Kindly accept the request. And guys, please share this on your live. I don't know you to be go. You don't know us. Don't worry. You soon know us again. Time cost it. We will soon be back again. Where is our guest? Oh,
Okay, let me switch
hi.
to hello,
Yay!
guys.
Finally.
It's
Good to
great to be here.
see
Can you
you.
hear me? Yeah,
Yes,
can you hear me actually?
absolutely. Loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome,
See you
fantastic.
now. You're chopping live. How are you?
It's
Good to see
actually
you.
it's great to be here. Really, I must say. Actually, I want to say that first of all, I want to say awesome job you're doing here. This is a fantastic, awesome, and I think I joined a couple of times.
Okay.
And I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to having this conversation, concerning having to travel or wanting to stay back in Nigeria. Like you said, it's going to be an all-round conversation, and I'm happy to answer questions. And I trust it's going to be an awesome time. So this is my first live.
Absolutely.
I've never done a live before, so
You know,
uh,
I was going to say that. Guys, show some love in the comment section to Pastor Mike. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It's
thank you
the
so
first
much.
live. I remember when I wanted to do this live 2 weeks ago, the first time, and I'm like, oh my God, do I do this or not? Especially with the fact that this is not so much of our territory. Clubhouse seems to be more of our territory, right? Like this is where we know the familiar, but I think it's time we begin to move away from the familiar and begin to move and step into the unknown, because at the end of the day, it's really for impact, it's for influence, so we're stepping out. We're going to be doing this more, so get ready. For your camera should be ready. I'm going to be dragging you out more. We will be doing
Uh, I think it's actually very nice,
yeah,
this having to do this, and I totally completely agree with you that we
yeah,
should become more progressive in taking our message. Of many of the stuff that we're doing on Clubhouse, hopefully we can be able to take it out, and let other people see. And I applaud you, Tammy, for this amazing, wonderful 30-day summit you've been doing. And I'm
thank
happy and
you.
proud to be a part of what you're doing. And I look forward to more impact together.
Yes, sir.
Somebody
Yes,
said this is your
sir.
laptop.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure a lot
Oh
of
my
people were
god.
excited to put a face with the name. Like,
Yeah,
is
actually.
that it? Okay, these are the faces behind the voice. So good. So good.
Thank you
So,
very
I mean,
much.
let's get right into the conversation. And thank you for the kind words anyway. Thank you so much for being who you are. You've always been in my corner, cheering me on, whether behind the scene or in front of the scene or by my side. Thank you so much, for all
Thank
of
you very
that. I
much.
just want to put that out there for everyone to celebrate you for me. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Awesome. So, I mean, looking at this conversation, right? I remember sometimes last year we spent few months, trying to do some documentations together. I mean, concerning myself, and we're really looking at opportunities together. And it was you that opened my eyes to the type of opportunities, that are bound, the enormous opportunities that is existing in the Scandinavian region. I never heard of it. Countries like Norway, I knew they existed, but I never knew it was a place I could go, I could live, I could thrive, or people could go. But you were there, you were thriving, you were doing amazingly well. I mean, I wanted to really start from that. I want us to start, and I want us to be very practical. How did you hear about
Yes.
where you live, Norway? How did it come about? Before we even begin to break down how did you hear about it? Was it online? Was it someone that recommended it to you? What was it like? What was it like for
Yeah.
you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tammy, for that question. I'll start by saying that I'm a very curious person, and having to study about different locations of the world. I heard about Norway, and I heard about the Scandinavian generally. And at the time when I got this interest was, I think, just about the time I completed my university. And so, but I didn't have the funds to, travel or to make a decision to, travel at that time. And so I had it in my mind that I was going to go to a master's because I had an amazing part of Europe called the Scandinavia where, things are so smooth and so involved and all of that. And education was quite high quality, affordable, and at the same time, you know, lots of opportunities abound. And that sort of, began to, from the time when I completed my studies till when I then, after a few years, I then made a decision to then, take a master's program. And at first, I was really considering going to Canada. I really wanted to go to Canada. I was applying to go to Canada,
Like
and it
everybody,
wasn't
everybody.
working. Yes,
Canada seems to be the
it wasn't.
37th state of Nigeria right now.
It wasn't working for me. And I then decided that, oh, let me give this Norway a shot. And so I decided to give Norway a shot. I took that shot to to apply to come to Norway. When I applied the first year, I didn't get I didn't gain any admission that year. It was heartbreaking for me because I didn't really take it so seriously. So the next year, I said I was going to give it another shot. Why didn't I take it so serious? I didn't take it so serious because I was so focused on Canada at that time. So by the
Okay.
next year, I just gave it a shot. I focused only on Norway, and I was lucky enough to get the admission. And then I came into Norway. At the beginning, it seemed a little bit, like, oh my God, did I make the right decision to have come to Norway at that
To this
time?
country.
And because it was a new it was the funny thing about it was that it's not like other locations where you have a lot of Nigerians and all of that. This is a location where not that many immigrants and all of that, but uh, I think that 2 years afterwards or years down the line, I can say that it was one of the best decisions that I took having to come to Norway. It's an amazing country. It's a country that a lot of people don't know about it, right? A lot of people know about, they know about the US, they know about Canada, they know about all these other countries,
UK.
but they don't know about smaller hidden countries like Norway, like Sweden, like Denmark. I was in Denmark during the summer. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. I mean, it's a lovely country, right? And very, it's a flat country. Unlike Norway is a bit of a hilly nation, but Denmark is generally very flat. Beautiful European country, and things are working well. There are lots of jobs. There's huge demand. But I mean, I will go into the details of that as we continue. But that's how you know uh, that drive for me started. That journey for traveling to Norway. And so I remember when I told my parents that I wanted to go to, they said, "Well, where's that one? Where's that country?" They were
As
like,
in, what part of the world do we have
"Oh,
Norway?
what is that?" They only know the US and they only know the US, they only know the UK and all of that. They were like, "Where's that?" So, but they didn't know that it was actually a very good country. A lovely country. And I think that, like I say to people, Norway is a country that if you know your way around, understand how things work, is a very good place for anyone that wants to make a decision to Japa or not. But we will get into the details of
Yeah.
whether to make that decision as to whether you want to even Japa. By the way, but
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that foundation. Thank you so much. Because
yes,
like you mentioned, a lot of people, almost everybody on the call right now, if you ask us, if you have the chance, that's if you want to jackpot anyway. Even the people who don't want to jackpot, if you give them an option to say, you know what, if you have a chance to move out of the country, something happened, Nigeria, whatever, and you want to move, right? What part of the world would you move to? Naturally, people want to say places like UK, Canada, like the US. And meanwhile, there are countries like these that we don't even know, right? We don't know. And
yes,
sometimes there are some of the questions that I have on ground. Sometimes we're looking at the language. Can we survive with English? Are they English speaking countries? Do we get jobs in this type of countries? Are they receptive? People have a lot of thoughts, and I really want us to look at that schooling route, because that was how you left. What is the school fees
yes,
like? Millions of naira, hundreds of thousands, because if I can spend about 15,000 pounds in the UK for my school
yes.
fees, it's about the same thing, I think, pretty much almost everywhere. Maybe $13,000 in the US. In Norway, I'm expecting it to be about that same price, to like $13,000. So, what is it? I mean, why should I choose Norway? Or is the school free?
Yeah, but like you said, the school fees that you get to pay in other countries, like maybe in the US or in the UK, it's a fee you have to pay, but also you have to take care of yourself. You have to factor that in, that you have to actually take care of yourself. And so
Living
taking care of yourself
expenses.
yes, that's the living expenses, right? So your living expenses actually is also part of your budget when you want to travel. So you're not just
Yeah.
thinking about the school fees, you're thinking about how much it's going to cost me to leave, for that
Yeah.
duration of time in that country. And also the ease of being able to take care of yourself
Yeah.
in terms of the availability of jobs within those nations, right? So in places like in Canada, in the US, in the UK, in the US, mostly people like to go there on scholarship because typically you might not be able to afford to pay for that. So you want to go on scholarship. In Canada, some people can afford to go to Canada. Some people try to get scholarship, but people are trying to find ways to cut costs. If you get a scholarship, it's a lot easier. Then you're not even most of the scholarships and it's not for everyone, right? So when you compare the cost of studying in places like the US or in studying in places like even the UK or even in Canada, it's quite expensive, right? But Norway is one of the only Scandinavian countries that is currently free. So, but because I'll be speaking broadly, not just about Norway, but Sweden, Finland,
Yes,
and
Sweden,
Denmark as
Denmark,
well. Yes,
Finland. Is Finland part of it?
yes, Finland and Denmark as well. So
Yes.
these Scandinavian
Okay.
nations, they used to be free many years ago, but now they are no longer free. So to go to places like Sweden, you have to pay a lot of money. To go to places like Denmark to study, you have to pay a lot of money. To go to places like even Finland recently now, you have to pay some money, but in Norway, it's still free. Okay,
Wow.
so and
Free
yeah,
school
it's still
fees.
absolutely free. Yeah, it's free, and the only thing you have to worry about is your living expense. Here's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing about Norway. If you're lucky enough to get into Norway, and you are able to get into big cities like Oslo, Stavanger, Bergen, Trondheim, these are very big cities here in Norway, that it's a lot easier for you to get student jobs. So what that means is that you can practically come to Norway with the funds and be able to take care of yourself throughout the 2 years with the
Hmm.
funds you are able to
You
get
are
in Norway.
making
So
right
yes,
there.
with the funds that you're making, so you're able to work as a student, be able to take care of yourself as a student, and a lot of people, that's what they do. They come in here with their funds and probably make more money, because they are able to get the ease of getting job in Norway is quite especially for students, and I'll be coming to other, more professional opportunities later as we go into the conversation. But I'm just speaking
Yeah.
as a student, right? So as a
Yes.
student, I think that, and there are lots of Nigerians coming into Norway as I speak right now. I was told in a particular university that they admitted about 30 Nigerians into one
Wow.
university. That never used to happen before. But
Yeah, they have
because right now,
allocations.
no, but now that university, a very popular university here in Norway, is admitting lots of students into the country. Right, so that's to tell you that Nigerians are becoming aware of this
What is
country,
going on?
and they want to come study here, and it's quite the opportunities abound, especially for those within the STEM space. If you're an engineer, you're a health worker, and you have the opportunity to pierce into the system and really make it big for yourself. Actually, in a place
Hmm.
that because there's so much opportunities. Norway is an advanced nation, and because it's an advanced nation, they're doing very well in the space of tech, in the space of automation, in the space of sustainable energy. These are forward-thinking economies, right? And so
Yes.
they need a lot of new they need new skilled people to come into the force. And so I think that there are lots of opportunities, and I will
Hmm.
come to that later as we talk about the ease of even coming into Norway
Hmm.
through other means, like getting a job directly, coming into
Yeah.
Norway and all of that. All these opportunities abound, and there's so much to be talked about. But like I said, you know, information is key. I
Yes.
didn't know this thing, when we left Nigeria. I didn't know this thing, because our focus was in places like, Canada and the UK and all that. But when you begin to get information and you're wise and smart, information is what gives you the edge. Because you can
Yeah.
come into this country and get lost, right? You
Hmm.
can come into this country and get lost, confused, and full of regret. But you
Hmm.
can also come to this country with the right information, right association, you will make it through, and you will get the best of the country, and you're able to, settle in quick. I'm going to speak to the language shortly. You're going to be able to settle in quick, and it's a good place. And another thing about Norway is that it's a beautiful place to raise a family. For those that are
Wow.
families
I love that. I
in
was still
Europe,
coming to that, but now that we're there, please speak on it. How is it in terms of raising a family? Kids, education. What is it like? Are there
it's
benefits? You know.
it's a beautiful place to raise a family. The country is, I think like all the nations, especially
Hmm.
around developed nations, but Norway it's a safe country, right? Very safe, relatively very safe country. So you're not worried about insecurity. and the healthcare is free in Norway. So, even though you're paying a bit of a higher taxes, healthcare is absolutely free, right? And education is absolutely free for your children. You even get to get some stipend, for your children, I think until they're 18 or so. And then healthcare is absolutely free for the children.
Wow.
For we as adults, we pay a bit of a stipend, but the children don't even pay anything, right? So when you mean healthcare is free for the children, including dental health, the eyes, and everything is absolutely free for the children. So because when we speak to healthcare being free for us as adults, we still have to pay for to see the patient. We still have
Specific
to
part
pay
of the
to see
body.
yeah, we still have to pay to see the dentist and all of that. But the children don't have to pay for that. And so I think it's a very good place to raise a family. If you're a family centered person, it's a very safe country. I think one of the things that we think about when we're moving out is, we're looking for a safe location where we can raise
Exactly.
our kids and they can mix around and all of those things. I think, and also it's quite a nice nation, I must say. Mm.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. That was really a very good. In fact, I've delved right into the conversation itself. You've touched on some of the questions that I have. And whenever we talk about Norway, I'm always excited because it's just even when you research online, it's such a beautiful country. You look at
It
the
is.
I mean, so there was a day you mentioned, I think sometimes last year when we were talking about, the percentage of people who drive cars, what is the transportation system like? And I was shocked to know that people don't even use those things. They hardly, because they have a very functional system there. Now, you touched on that family part. I wanted to know, a lot of times when people move, they have something in mind when they move. Whichever means they travel with, whether through school, through the professional route we're going to come to, they also want to think about the path to citizenship, right? Or the path
Absolutely.
to having, permanent
Yes.
residency. What is that like in the Scandinavian countries as well?
Yeah. I will start with Norway, then I'll move to some other countries like Denmark and Sweden. I think it's pretty much similar, right? For Norway, if you come in as a student, and you study for around 2 years or even more,
Mm.
uh, the thing is that you then have the opportunity to apply for what we call the job seeker visa in Norway. Now, currently in Norway, you can only apply for a job seeker visa. You can only apply for a job seeker visa in Norway. But I heard of recently, Sweden
Okay.
has started giving job seeker visa from out of Sweden. So if you're not in Sweden, you can actually apply for a job seeker visa to come in Sweden without getting a job offer.
Wow.
Because people are only able to come to Norway if they have a job offer. And the beautiful thing is that if you have a job offer, and people are getting, now here's the thing, Timmy, that you must understand. People are getting jobs out of Norway and they are then coming into Norway. So it's very, 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 very true. People are getting jobs because there's shortage of these skilled workers, especially in the tech
Wow.
space. And there's a lot of shortage of skilled workers, and people are getting jobs. They're coming into Norway and settling in. So I'm going to describe the path, for those coming in as students, those coming in as workers as well. So if you come in as a
Yes.
student, you study for 2 years. After you're done, you probably, want to get that job seeker visa. If you get a job while you're a student, you can immediately switch. That's the beautiful thing. So you don't have to
Okay.
finish your studies. So maybe in your first year you're able to secure a job. You immediately switch. So you're now on your path
On a
to
work.
citizenship because the what Norway requires is that you must be on a work visa, at least a work visa for at least 3 years for you to qualify for a permanent residence. Now, after that, you then must have stayed in Norway for 6 to 7 years for you to apply for citizenship. So you see
Okay
that
now.
when you spend 2 years studying and you've worked for 3 years, that's 5 years. And so by the sixth year, you're qualified to apply for
You're
your
qualified.
citizenship. So within 6 to 7 years, you can get your passport as a Norwegian. And now but what qualifies you for a permanent
I love the
residency?
sound of that.
The,
As a Norwegian. Come on now. I love
yeah,
it.
it's
Sorry to
it's
cut
it's
you
it's
in.
yeah. So within and in 3 years, if you worked in Norway for 3 years, you're qualifying for a permanent residence. So what makes you qualified for citizenship is that you already have a permanent residence, or you are qualified for a permanent residence, so you can then apply for citizenship. So if you come into Norway as a worker, you already, after 3 years, you can get your permanent residence. So if you come in as a skilled worker, after 3 years, you can get your permanent residence, and then wait for another few years for you to get your Norwegian passport. So that's how it works here. And there are ways. I think the core ways of coming to Norway is either you come in through studies or you come in through family reunion. That means maybe you go and you're married to someone that is then capable of you then can come in, or you come in as a skilled worker.
Okay.
So in Norway, a PhD is considered a skilled worker. It's not just a student. So it's very important that I say that when you're coming in as a PhD student in Norway, you're actually considered a skilled worker. So what that means is that after your PhD program, you're qualified to apply for a permanent residence. Most likely, you will get your permanent residence by the time you're done with your PhD. So you see
you
that
don't have to do extra 3 years of work.
No. You don't have that. PhD program is considered a job, and so you will. So after 3 years of your PhD program, you can apply for a permanent residence. So typically, PhD contracts are 4 years contract. So by the time you're in your third year of your PhD contract, you can apply for a permanent residence, and you become a permanent resident. So that's the difference, and I think it's applicable also. I think in Denmark it's 8 years. You have to be in Denmark for 8 years before you become a citizen. You must have worked for 4 years before you become a citizen. And in Sweden, I think it's pretty much almost the same thing as well. So it among the Scandinavian, I think it's pretty much almost the same.
The same thing.
Yeah. And I will say this. I will add this. These countries are quite similar. I've been to 3 of the Scandinavian countries, except Finland. They all look almost the same, right? It looks the same. It feels the same. Yeah, so Sweden, of course, is very beautiful, and then Denmark is beautiful, and Norway is beautiful. So of these 3 countries, Norway is the smallest, Sweden is the biggest in terms of population, and Denmark then.
Are you there? Is that my network?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that's it.
I am so excited about this. God, I'm literally blushing. And I know that a lot of people, guys, if you're on this call and you think that you don't have all these resources that is required in the UK, in the US, I think you should consider the Scandinavian countries. You should begin to look at it. Now, we've talked about the school route. So beautiful. You've mentioned a bit about the, joining your spouse. The spouse. In fact, do you have any single man there that I can come and please?
You know something. If you come, if you come as a family, to come join your spouse, you have that visa qualifies you to, work 100%. Right? So you can actually get full time, even though as a student, if joining as a student, can work more than 20 hours a week. That's about 50%. So you then see that, yes. So you then see that, that person can get a job. But there are many ways around this. Some people, and I've seen this, play in real life. Some people, what they do is when their spouse come in, they get a professional job, and then they switch their visa so that person that was because when you come in on a family reunion with a student, that is not the basis. That will not be the basis for a permanent residence. You have to have a resident permit that is a basis for permanent residence, and that is a job, a work permit. I don't know if I make sense. Can you hear me? I'm losing you. I'm losing you a bit. I don't know if it's my network or your network. I'm losing you a bit.
I think it's yours because I'm clear on my side. Yours is blurry a bit. I don't know if it's mine. Guys, can you guys hear us? Just confirm. But I can hear you now.
Yes, please just confirm me. You can hear me because I thought that mine was My network was good. Because
I can hear you, but it's slow. Can you see
it's
me?
low.
It's slow,
Yeah, I can
like
see.
slower than the pace. The words are coming out slower than how you're saying them. Is it good now? Ouch. What is going on? Guys, can you guys hear us? Please just confirm. Oh, they can. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay, guys. Maybe it's mine or maybe it's his. Okay, mine is breaking. Oh my God. Wow. Something else. Um, guys, am I back? Okay. I think I am back. So we're gonna wait for Pastor Mike. I think it was his own network. Because I can hear myself and I can see myself. So let's just wait for him to join. Okay, you can hear us. I think it was his own that froze up a bit. Maybe mine too froze at some point. But he's coming back and I'm just gonna wait for him to come back and then let me see. Let me quickly send the request again, invite. Because I'm really, really loving this. I'm loving this, and I just hope people are really taking notes because I think these are very, very useful information. Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Am I clear too? Is it
Yes, you're
blurry
clear.
or clear?
Is
Awesome.
is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, it is. You're back now. I can hear you
Okay,
loud and clear.
okay.
Yeah,
Is my
something must have
I
happened.
just want to confirm if you guys can see me clearly. Is my face clear or it's
Yes,
blurry a bit?
no, very clear now. I think that
It's
comment
very
was
clear.
for before. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
but
okay.
both are clear now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much, guys. We can continue now. You know, we're talking about the spousal thing. We're trying to explain the dynamics. If you come in through work visa, you can through schooling, you can convert to work. I think that was the point you were trying to make.
Absolutely, yes. You can convert to, you can convert to become, but the key thing is that once you are a student,
Yeah.
being a student does not qualify you to take the permanent resident route. You need to be on a work visa at least, right? You need to be on a work visa at least to be able to, be on a permanent resident route. And so
Mm.
the key thing, like I said, is that what you need to do, number one, is once you're done with your studies, if you're lucky enough to get a job, then you then are on your path to citizenship because
Yeah.
after 3 years of working, and you are qualified for a permanent residence, and I think a year after you can apply for your citizenship. So that's roughly around 6 to 7 years. You're able to get your
Mm.
citizenship. And so the beautiful
Mm.
thing there is that once if you're married with your children, uh, every status you take, your children take the status, right?
Yeah.
So if you take the professional route, once you come in on a work visa, your children are also on a path to citizenship as you are on a path to citizenship, right? So they don't have to
Mm.
apply separately as
Yeah.
well. Your spouse is also on a path to citizenship, but they must have some form of income, to support themselves when they are applying for that as well. So that's really, quite, very, very
Mm.
interesting, and I think also to
Awesome.
share as well is that, if
Okay.
you come into Norway, like I am in Norway right now, and I'm working, my wife is almost done with her studies. If your spouse is studying, they also, because you're working, can get some kind of funds from the government, and which will while they are studying. So these are some of the benefits, of studying in Norway, because so they themselves can get some kind of funds, from the government
Wow.
while they are studying.
Literally,
So
like paying them every
these are
month
something.
type of thing.
Yes, they pay them here. It's actually paid, it's monthly or it's a yearly fund that is disbursed monthly, right? So once
Okay.
you're granted the fund, it's disbursed monthly, but it's actually given yearly. So it's quite an
Mm.
interesting place to sort of find your way to.
To be
If you want to,
awesome.
yeah, especially for those that are very, very much interested in, and I see someone's asking for the medical route as
Yeah, I was
well.
going to come there
But
too. I think we've
okay.
not touched on that last part. You know, we've talked about the school, a little bit of the spousal. Now, the professional route in terms of maybe getting a job from outside of the Scandinavian region, like Norway. Is it possible to get jobs from Nigeria to this type of country? What is it like? What is the access like? The opportunities, where do they lie? Let's look at that for a moment.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, I have a lot of friends, not one, not two, that have moved to Sweden and to Norway. At least I'm 100% sure. I know that there are opportunities in Denmark, but I do have a lot of friends that have had to move to Sweden and to Norway and they came all the way from Nigeria. So, like I said, opportunities abound. And these countries are forward-thinking countries, and so they need lots of skilled personnel, which they are short of in the tech space, in the medical space, and in the sustainable energy space. I work in the energy space. I'm an energy engineer, and I can tell you so much investment is being done right now within sustainable energy across Europe. The whole of Europe really is passionate for sustainable energy. And so it means that where the money goes, opportunity goes as well, right? From the energy sector to the tech space, as well as in the medical sector. Here's the thing about Europe generally. Europe is generally aging, right? As an aging continent, it means that healthcare for the seniors will be very critical, and
Very
not just in the
critical.
UK, but also in all across Europe. It's generally aging, and so there's that need for lots of healthcare personnel, and so Norway is not an exception. But the key thing is that for those that want to be in the healthcare in Norway, they must be willing to learn the language, because you're now going to be interacting with people. But unlike for some of us within the energy space, the language is not so much of a requirement for us, to work within the energy space because it's more international, right? We're working with people all across Europe. We're working with people all across, different continents of the world. So within the energy space, the official language is English, but outside of that space, outside of that space, any other place where you want to function, it'd be good for you to have a
Have an
grasp of the
understanding.
language. Another place
Yeah.
where the language is not so critical or important is those within the tech space, right? Because there's a huge shot of, there's a huge demand of skilled people, and so I know that a lot of people. I have a couple of friends that have had to come to Norway and Sweden. They didn't know the language and they had to come, and of course, if you want to settle in the country, it would be good for you to get a ground, a,
A
get
grasp of their
a
language.
grasp of the language as at least. I have my kids. My kids are already speaking Norwegian, so
Good.
even if I didn't want to learn
So good.
even if I didn't want to learn the language, I had to because of my kids, right? So because
Yeah.
my kids are speaking the language, and so it's good that we are able to speak that language with them as well. And this is not just unique to Norway. All across Europe, most European countries, all across Europe, most European countries have their first language, which is not English, right? In Denmark, it's Danish. In Norway, it's Norwegian. In Sweden, it's
Like
Swedish.
Germany.
In France, it's French. In France, it's German. All across Italy is Italian. And so learning this language is sort of like, I think it's a basic thing for those that want to come to Europe generally. But the beautiful thing about Norway is that it's not as deep. I've been to Germany myself. In Germany, you need to speak German, right? I've been to Germany, so I know the requirements. So, but in Norway, it's not that. I won't say
Not that deep.
it's not that deep. It's something that you can really live your life beautifully daily without necessarily having to speak the language perfectly. That I will tell you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love what I've heard. Thank you so much. Guys, if you have questions, this is the time to begin to turn the questions in. We're going to be taking questions, few questions at least before we wrap up today. But I still think we'll just touch on one or two areas before we go. But thank you so much, Michael. That was really beautiful. And just like someone said earlier, you need to be the Norway ambassador to Nigeria at this point. Yes, you know why?
Why?
People are so used to people doing things for themselves. Like people, before you share opportunity, before you do anything, people just have it at the back of their mind that what is in need for you. Or God, go straight to the point. Is there an affiliate link? Are you going to get a commission? I don't know why people find it difficult to accept that people want to share opportunities with you because they want to. Not because there is anything involved, not because there is an ulterior motive. Like someone was asked me, like, for example, Upwork, is Upwork paying you? Work is not paying me. They don't even know Ezi. They don't even know
Yes,
me.
I understand.
They don't. Apart from the badges, of course they know you're working, but they don't know me anyway. They don't know me. We share this opportunity because we think there are opportunities in that area for people to take advantage of. And I really acknowledge and I applaud you for all of that you do, because I know this is not just the first time that you talk about these things. It's just that now I decided to drag you onto Instagram to share it. This is something you do even on Clubhouse, and I applaud you
Yes,
for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so
and,
much.
and,
I
and
didn't
there are a
ever
couple of people.
discover. Yeah, please
And,
go
and there are a
ahead.
couple of people. There are a couple of people. I mean, that have that have been able to help. Assist and all of that. To be
Mm,
able to come down to Norway to study.
mm,
Because the education, like I said, is absolutely free. Of course, there is a caveat, right? That you have a very good degree, right? You should have at least a 2-1 to come to Norway.
yeah.
At least that, because it's quite competitive to come here, right? Because the
Mm,
education is free. And so if you have a 2-1, I encourage you to, maybe you want to send me a message, you're interested in, I just guide you through the process. I'm not able to give you details because I'm very busy, but I can guide you through the process if you're very
yeah.
serious,
Mm,
and if you're someone that is, you're serious about yourself, I can help you navigate that process in terms of, what to do after you're done with your studies in order for you
mm,
to position yourself so that you can get a job right after your study.
mm. I'm even thinking in my head, just like what you said now. I'm thinking maybe we should do, I mean, put together, I mean, you should put together something like a short guide, not like it could be an ebook, something just
Yes,
all these things, the processes, and then people download it or something. I don't know. We can talk about that. That could be, a channel, right?
yes,
But I think we
absolutely.
have two questions. Yeah, let's see which one. How is the spread of opportunities in the tech space? To be honest, tech space is there are opportunities, to be honest. But do you want to speak to that before we move
Of course,
further?
I mean, the opportunities in the tech space, like I said, Norway is short of the skilled individuals that are needed. Because, like I said, it's a forward-thinking country. It's a forward-thinking country running a forward-thinking economy. And so, what that means is that there are lots of startups coming up. So many startups coming up, and so they need people in the tech space.
Mm,
If you're in the tech space in Norway, and you just know, once you're in the tech space in Norway, even if you don't speak the language, you will get a job. That I can tell you.
yeah. Tech itself is a
Because
language, like you
yeah,
said.
you're gonna get a job because there's a huge demand for those within the tech space, and I think that it's something that there's that huge demand. The opportunities abound, especially for those with strong tech skills, like the DevOps guys, the product designers, and the data guys, the cloud guys, all of those
Mm,
guys in the tech space, even the Scrum Masters, the IT project managers, and all of those people. They
mm,
need lots of them in the Norway space, right?
mm,
So, how do you assess these opportunities? You can easily, most of these things are advertised on LinkedIn. You can
yeah.
find them, lots of them on LinkedIn, on Indeed. You can see them on Indeed as well. And so, these are you can just check them out and, start applying. You know,
There's one
if
more
someone says,
question.
good,
Yeah.
good
So this person,
info
okay, you
from you,
answered
I'm
how do
currently
we
not
search
working.
for opportunities. Awesome. You can check
Yes,
online, guys. Google, Indeed,
yes,
LinkedIn, all of those platforms, right? There's
yes.
another one. What advice would you give someone who is 45 and considering that region? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
If
see
I
that the
thank
person
you.
is asking.
There's someone
The
in
person is,
Norway. I just saw. If
yes.
somebody said he's in Norway. Oh, that's good. Awesome. It's good to know.
It's great to know. Yes, that's beautiful. So for someone that is 45 years old who is
Mm,
interested in doing a PhD, in Norway, one thing about Norway doesn't discriminate in terms of age, right? Of course, if you're 45, you want to do a PhD. Typically, the PhD should be around 4 years, so you should be in your 50s by the time you're done. And so
mm,
it then means that you can work. You can, because it's not a country that discriminates. Once you have the skill set, once you have the necessary qualification, I
mm,
think you can get a job if you want to get a job. But if you want to go into research, I think
mm,
that's a recommended area. There's a huge opportunity in research as well. So if it's something that you're considering, then you can do that as well. Key thing is that number one, you must have a very good academic
background.
background in order for you to apply for a PhD in Norway. Why? Because the PhD in other countries of the world, they are like, it's typically seen you're a student, but in Norway you're not a student. You're actually seen as a worker. So you're working for the university. They're paying
But they
you,
pay
but
you.
yes, they're paying you. You're paid. You're paid
Wow.
well, actually. And so you're going to be paid salaries. You're going to have your leave, your annual leave, and all of those things. It's just like a normal worker. So
At
it
least I
then
will not
means that
consider PhD like this. Wow, I
you're
love
gonna,
it.
you're gonna get your annual leave, right? You're gonna get everything, or just typical things that that you get as a worker. And beautiful thing is that by the time you're done with your PhD, you're qualified for a permanent resident.
Residents.
So here's the thing about being a permanent resident in Norway. The government is in the government's interest to help you get a job.
Get a job. Wow.
It's not
Where
in
is
the government's interest.
Nigeria when they were sharing these things? What is going
So
on?
so the government will, once you're a permanent resident of the country, they then take responsibility to make sure that you get a job. You see? So that's the difference, right? They're not going to leave you to yourself. They will try to help you because they need you to go off their, because the system is such a way that they have a welfare system for those that are jobless. So the less people they have on that welfare system, the better for them. So they're going to help you get out of the welfare system so you can get a job.
That's smart.
So that's smart of them. So you're definitely going to get a job. Like I said, it's not a country that discriminates with respect to your age. Even if you're 50, you can still get a job. You will get a job. Of course, if you're 50, you must have worked for a long time, so you have some experience, right? So you're able to get a job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we can take one more question, and then we just wrap up with our own thing. Lami is trying to understand, and I think you spoke a bit about this earlier. What about language? Is it a major hurdle? You want to speak to that a bit, right?
Yeah, language is it can be a hurdle depending on the sector that you're going to be working in Norway. I mean, so if you're going to be working in the medical sector, you just have to get a hang of the language. And I think it's something that is possible, right? If you put your mind to it. But if you're in the STEM space, maybe you're in engineering or you're in tech, language might not be very, very, very important. It's important for you to, interact and, integrate into the system, but it's not important for you to do your job, right? It's not important for you to do your job. So language is important because you want to integrate into the system, but it's not as important because you want to do your job. For those in the tech space, for those in the engineering space, but if you're in the health sector, you need to get a hang of the language. Actually, if you're if you're also in the administrative sector, like maybe you're a lawyer and all of those things, and you also HR, human resource. Of course, human resource, depending on the company or the sector you're in, maybe if you're in the energy sector like I am, it might not be so important. But if you're in other sectors, generally it's important that you get a hang of the language. And I think that once you come into a country, generally, you have to make up your mind that you're going to get a hang of the language if you want to. If you want to be
open-minded.
Yeah, you have to be open-minded. It's something that you can't stay in a country and not get a hang of the language in that country. You have to get the best of the country. If you have children, your children will get a hang of the language, right? Quickly because they're kids. And so you don't want to, be left behind by your children. So it's good that you get a hang. It might take you some time. That's the thing. But you will get the hang of the language.
Awesome. You know what I would say to that again. You know how people coming from the west, from the east to the west, they come to Lagos, or they come from the north to Lagos, and give them time. These guys begin to speak small Yoruba. Kurombe. It comes with the territory. You have to come with an open mind. You can't say you're in Lagos, you are living in Lagos, and you don't want to learn the common language of transaction. We go to the north, or you decide to serve NYC in the north. It's in your best interest as well to be able to speak those little things, even if to be able to buy things cheap from the market. So it's the same thing. If you can do it in your country, I think we can do it outside of the country. Thank you so much for that powerful response. And thank you for the question as well. I think one more question. Thank you, Lekon. Great session today. Fantastic. Yes, oh, fantastic too. Yes, so thank you so much.
Yes.
Peter said, internationally speaking, how rated is a degree gotten from Norway? Okay, now.
I think that, I mean, it depends on the university that you go to, but I mean, Norway has some very good universities like NTNU in Trondheim, University of Oslo in Oslo, University of Stavanger in Stavanger, and
Stavanger.
University of Bergen in Bergen. These are
Nerd.
really amazing universities. These are top universities. They are churning out lots of research work. Lots of funds are going into these universities from the government.
Mm,
And so, if you ask me, I will tell you that at least some of the schools that I have mentioned have very good reputation in terms of international recognition. I will tell you
mm.
that. Mm.
Thank you for that. And I think you can do your research as well, Peter, and anybody on the call. This conversation is really to give us just open our eyes to the possibilities that exist. Do your research, the schools there and all of those type of things, the programs you want to go for. And people are also so adamant on, oh, I studied geography in my first degree, so I must study geography in my master's. If you are thinking of that in this age and time, I think you should dump it. We should be future forward in our thinking. Where are the
Yeah.
opportunities? Where, what is relevant in today's economy? Just because you studied
Yes.
microbiology does not mean that is what you should be chasing right now. What is relevant? Where can I move to? Where are the opportunities? Because the goal is not just to go and study. The goal is to also use it to do something meaningful. So is it that you
Yes.
want to study something and then you're looking for a job again? Except you just want to acquire that degree and then go into entrepreneurship. So let's be future forward in our thinking. Embrace research a lot. It will help you in your positioning. And I think we've really had a solid conversation today. What do you think, Michael? Are there areas we've not touched?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think just to answer the question that someone just asked. The master's program in Norway will be taught in English. Most of the master's program
Awesome.
actually taught in English, actually. But the bachelor's program in Norway are mostly in Norwegian.
Mm,
So yeah, so the master's program and the PhD programs are in English, but the
mm.
bachelor's program, majority of them are in Norwegian. So
Okay.
for those that want to, do a master's program in Norway, uh,
Mm.
be rest assured that it's going to be taught in English.
Awesome. Awesome. I think this is a good session. Of course, we're gonna save it on the page for people who are not able to listen now. But you guys will have
Yes.
an opportunity to listen to it again. And we're gonna put it on YouTube. Guys, listen and write notes. Go and work with it. Implementation. We want to see people carrying bag and snapping at the airport. Like, guys, we don't move. Oh, whether for opportunities, whether for jobs or for schools, whatever route you're going through. I think that you can make your decision by yourself. Like we said, this conversation is not to encourage anybody to Japa or not to Japa. If you decide to Japa, you are right. We know the state of the country. If you decide to stay back, you are also right. Whatever decision you make is still a decision. Even your indecision is a decision. So it's still yours, right, at the end of the day. But thank you
I
so
agree.
much for being a part of this. Thank you so much. And I hope we should do more
Thank
of
you so
these
much for
things.
having me, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should do more. This was
we
quite
should.
interesting. Yeah, this is I think it's something that we should, have a conversation around. We should do more of
Yeah,
this to speak
yeah.
to other important conversations that we
Exactly.
have on Clubhouse in our
Exactly.
domain. Clubhouse is our domain, but we need to
You
we need
know,
to
we need
go
to
into
step out.
we need to step out a bit more.
Yes, yes, yeah. We need to bring all those our, bangs and violence and bring them here sometimes too. Relationship
Yeah,
conversation,
yes,
God conversation, career
yes.
conversation. I mean, we can do it.
Absolutely. I
We
think
can
it's
do
something
it.
that we should
Yeah.
actually consider, because I think that some of the information that we have and some of
Mm,
the stuff that we're talking about need to be heard by
yeah.
much more people,
Yeah.
and that's what I believe. We have a lot of
Mm,
information. The Lord has blessed us with wisdom, and I
mm,
think it will bless a couple of people here
mm,
on this platform. Of course,
mm,
we've been doing some amazing stuff on Clubhouse,
mm.
but like I said, we need to spread our tentacles to other platforms. And thank you so much, Timmy, for leading the charge on this one. And I really love what you're doing. And hopefully, many of us could then begin to take, baby steps to step into these territories as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And so good, it's good to see you actually again.
I can't remember the last time we saw our faces, right? Only
Yeah,
on
yeah, no.
Clubhouse audio, It's so good. And so good
Yeah,
to see
actually.
family members here as well. I see you all. I
Yeah.
see all the comments and the love. I mean, these are our family members, our TPN family. I see you all, my friends.
Yes.
I
A lot
see
of
you
them are
guys.
here
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And for the people who still listen, because I found out that more people listen or watch the replay than
afterwards.
join the live. I understand the time zone differences, the convenience for people, schedules and conflicting activities. So people get to listen to this replay later. We see you all. I appreciate it. And the summit itself continues tomorrow. I don't do anything on weekends, so it's Mondays to Friday. And tomorrow I'm going to be having another great conversation. Next week, Monday, I'm going to be having PK. Pastor Olakunle Shorin will be joining us. And I think that's going to be
Powerful.
phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal. Guys, you don't want to miss it. Everyone here, you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, he's actually the father of borderlessness. When I think of
Yes, I
borderlessness,
agree. I totally completely
I
agree.
think of PK.
He,
Yeah.
yes,
When I think of borderlessness, I
absolutely.
think
Yeah,
of PK.
I think it's not something to be missed. I'm gonna attend on Monday.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, something to it's a program to be there to come watch
Absolutely.
PK speak. I'm excited you were able to bring him on board
Yes,
on this.
so so I was able to at least secure a small space for Monday in his, among his busy schedule. So the flyer will be out as well by tomorrow morning. And then, but tomorrow 8 p.m. there's another great conversation. I should be having Salem King. I don't know yet, but it's gonna be a great one. I'm just hoping that this will truly impact and influence people, that you will truly run with the information that we share, that you will truly just run with some of them, implement them, see what works for you among them, and then just have a good time. Just to ensure that we're growing, we're moving, we're expanding, we're enlarging our coast, and 2022 is still going to be a great year for us. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much for coming again, Michael. We should
Thank you so
schedule
much,
one or
Timmy,
two
for having
meetings
me.
soon.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Timmy, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you. We should be shutting down now. Guys,
Okay. How do we shut
before we
down?
go, I found a trick 2 days ago, and I'm gonna do it again. In fact, every of the days I'm gonna do it. Guys, you people did not do it yesterday. Only 1 or 2 people did it. We're gonna pause for a few seconds, and you guys are going to do a screenshot of this live, and you're going to share on your maybe stories or Instagram or whatever WhatsApp status and tag us. Just write one thing you learned, one thing that jumped out for you, one thing that was
Yes,
powerful,
we do
light
that.
bulb moment, a statement that you thought was relevant. So we're going to screenshot us, post it, and then tag us on your stories or whatever platform you want to do that. So guys, are you ready? PK and his grandma. Yes, so we're coming. Guys, we're ready. Please do a screenshot. Don't screenshot me when my mouth is open. No. All right, guys. I'm sure you guys have done the screenshots. We'll be waiting for the screenshots. Because this will help more people to see. Well, a lot of times people come to my, what I notice? People will come to my DM or come to my message. I mean, this is beautiful. It's a good thing. Oh, Timmy, you are doing so well. It's so good. We do this a lot. Oh, it's so good what you are doing. I think you're doing amazing. You are saying it to me. People don't know. Say it on my comment section. Say it outside. If you truly believe that, don't just send it to me secretly. Say it openly. Yes. At least that's a capital itself. You might not be able to give me money. You might not be able to maybe buy my product. I might not be able to buy your product. I can come under your comment to say good things. Right? I say it to you privately. I should be able to say it to you publicly. That's really what this does. Nothing deep about it. But thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Timmy, for having me. It was great to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do have an amazing day.
And you too. I'll be shutting down now as well. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Good night.